All right, guys, welcome back. And now let's talk about phase 2, which is identifying your avatar. Let me just start by admitting something. First 7 to 8 years, I never did this of my career. I never actually created an outline for an avatar. And it's probably still the most overlooked thing in my business. Like something that I now know retrospectively by looking back and looking at all these other different companies. It might be the singular most important facet to being able to really grow and grow quickly is knowing exactly who you're talking to. And so I know, trust me, the reason I'm admitting this is because I know how easy this is to skip over and how small it feels in the scheme of things. Oh, okay, I kind of know who I'm talking about and talking to. In this video, I just quickly want to really explain some of the key notes that I have about identifying your avatar, how to do it, what to look for, and also just why it's so important. And, we talk about it. We were just talking about it right before this. When you put out a product and you put that product out without thinking of exactly who should be going through the product, you end up creating the wrong product.
Yeah, because you're just trying to cast a wider net.
It's if you don't understand exactly who, I think the mistake that most people make is, there's not enough people. If I get super specific, there's not enough people there.
Yeah.
And you're not creating an avatar because you're going to sell to that one person. You're creating an avatar so that you understand how to talk to all of the people that you're going to end up selling to. So what I mean by that is if I'm let's say I'm trying to create my email profits course and I want people who already have some semblance of a business going. If I don't identify that ahead of time, like somebody who's already got a business, who already has 1,000 subscribers, they want to make more money from their email list, they just don't know exactly how, right? And they're probably mid-30s. This is a side hustle for them. They work a 9 to 5, but they've been trying to get this list off the ground for a while and yada, yada, right? I get super specific, not because I think that there's one individual out there who has 1,000 subscribers. There's a lot. Usually there's way more than we think there are. And that's what's cool about this whole avatar building is there's typically more people in a niche than you think there are. And especially a specific avatar, there's usually way more. Problem is, if I create an email profits course for anybody who wants to make money, which is the problem that most people, that's where most people go. Digital marketing products, just any business owner who wants to make money. When I ask my mastermind members, who are you going to sell that to? That anybody interested in making money? Anybody like me? Yeah. Anybody in this group? Okay, no. Tell me about them. And so there's a couple of interesting things that you can do to outline who that avatar is going to be. But I heard this one really interesting quote, so I'll lead off with this. It's not really a quote, a way of creating an avatar is to think about what the outcome is going to be of that person. So when you're thinking about who am I going to market this to, think about what is the benefit? If somebody goes through your course, if somebody buys your software, if somebody hires you as a coach, if somebody buys the product that you're promoting as an affiliate, what is their outcome, right? So it's okay, well, I'll just use Jasper as an example. Okay, so somebody bought Jasper. Okay, so what happens for them? Well, they went from struggling to write emails to writing emails. Okay, so now what I've identified is somebody now can write better emails. They're making more sales. So the person that I'm talking to already has an offer, already understands email. Okay, so that's now who I'm selling to.
Copywriting may be just
they have a mental block in their head that they think writing is harder than it is.
Yeah.
So we need to help them overcome that. Jasper helps them do that. Or, again, you can go into any niche, somebody who has a YouTube channel and just really struggles with coming up with ideas. Now they're going to have better ideas and their YouTube channel is going to blow up and it's going to help them get 10,000 more subscribers every year. And now I'm selling how to get 10,000 more subscribers every year without having to think of anything yourself, right? So it helps me talk directly to my avatar, my super specific avatar. So here's some ways that you can come up with who that is. Number one, who are 3 people that would join right now and love it? I like this question. So I think about email profits. Who are 3 people right now that would join and be like, this is dope, and get really awesome benefits?
And you're thinking of 3 like names?
I'm thinking of 3. If I know enough people, I'm thinking 3 specific people. In my case, I do. Like, in my case, I already have customers. So I can be like, okay, what customers that bought my other stuff, if they bought this, they would love it.
Yeah.
Right? And I already know some of them because they did buy it and they do love it.
And those are the type of people that I want.
So what makes that person up?
Yeah.
And what makes that person up? And it's like, sometimes they might be 3 different people, very different people. But now I've just identified 3 audiences that I can go after. And you take from this, like somebody left a quote in our group that said, like, the email profits course, I've spent $1,500 to $2,000 on email courses in the past, and they taught nothing compared to what this course does. Is amazing. So now that's something that goes into my avatar. Have you spent $2,000 to $3,000 on courses before and not getting the benefit? Don't worry. I know how that feels. Like, I can now identify and talk to them. And the whole time, the reason we're trying to identify a specific avatar is because it's going to do 2 very specific things in our whole process. Number 1, our marketing is going to be much more specific. This is a huge thing. Like, having marketing that feels like it's directed at you individually is huge.
Oh, yeah.
So many people are missing that. Like, okay, well, I'm just going to put this together. If you're not talking specifically to a person in your marketing, if you don't have an idea of an individual when you make your ad, it's going to be really hard to write that ad because you're like, well, I don't want to say this and not have that. I've struggled with it. You've heard me say it before. Like, well, I don't want to alienate these people, but blah, blah, blah. It's like, that's the wrong way to do it. The right way to think about this is not who am I going to alienate? It's who's the specific person that needs this? How do I get them in? How do I talk to them?
It's like if you're trying to target me and your whole message is somebody in their mid-30s with
exactly.
I'm
gonna be off.
to do a side hustle. It's like, well, I'm none of those things.
But that's the thing is, like, as a business owner, am I actually trying to target you, or is that who I think? Like, I look at email profits. If you had to give me an age range of who I think this can help, it's everybody. Who should I make ads that are geared towards individual people in different tiers? Of course, that's where we come up with these avatars. So the good news is you can create as many avatars as you want. You just have to have one in mind when you do the thing, right? Now, the second level of the awesome thing that it's going to do for you when you have an avatar in mind is it's going to help you create the product that's best for them. So again, if I'm creating a product for somebody who's 28, no kids, not married, I can create a product that involves a little bit more of your time. Maybe a little bit less money because you might have less money because you're in your 20s versus somebody in their 30s. In the 30s, people have way more money than they have time. So I need to create something that can work with less of their time being involved. So it's like, even knowing that, create a different product. My marketing is going to stimulate to something different. So it's who I'm talking to. So I think of 3 people who would join right now, and then you analyze the commonalities between them. And then you can also figure out, like, hey, there's no commonalities. These are just 3 people that would crush it with this program or this course or this coaching. These are the 3 kinds of people I should go after.
And you have a different message for each one.
Yeah, and you would have a different ad
strategy.
And that's what I think is so funny. Is like, okay, let's say I'm targeting Russell Brunson with an ad, his audience with an ad. I could say something super specific like, are you trying to run a course and you're having a tough time getting sales? Some people would look at that and go, well, Travis, there's people who are not course creators that follow Russell. Exactly. They're not going to tune into my ad.
Yeah.
So I would have another ad eventually that says, like, are you trying to run that coaching business and you need more ways to make sales? And then the coaches would see it. And then, hey, are you trying to figure out exactly how to start that online business? And then those people would see that. So I would have different ads that are geared towards appealing towards different people.
Yeah. Which is exactly what Russell does. I mean, that's how
100%.
He's gotten the audience that he has.
100%. And I've noticed now he's actually, in order for him to scale up, like in order for him to make more sales, he's actually starting to appeal more towards the total newbie beginner. Not like, hey, why don't you build a funnel for your business? It's now like, hey, what are you passionate about? He's like making posts about that because he's trying to get people to say, well, I'm passionate about gardening. Well, you should have a business.
Yeah.
And then,
well, it's the whole ClickFunnels 2.0 right now is their big push is like create your first funnel. Like,
well, yeah, 2.0 it's actually like what's interesting is they're making that product much more like Shopify competitor than a ClickFunnels original. So it'll be interesting to see what they do, but the next thing that you can do for identifying your avatar is who is the most excited current user. So if you have anybody in the platform, who's your most avid, spokesperson? Who's the person who's like, I love this. This is great. I'm building my list. I'm doing what you say. who are those people? Because if you can identify those people, then you know, okay, this person is who I should be talking to because the people like them would do really well and be enthusiastic. Another thing that you can do is who would instantly become better after joining. I love this because I talk about it with the Email Profits course, like watching this video. Here's what's crazy. Like, this is Inception. Somebody's going to watch this video and be like, dude, I've been running businesses making $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 a month, and I've never had a clear vision of my avatar. Now I'm going back and I'm looking at some of my marketing and I'm realizing like that's what I was missing was not having this. So somebody who's in that position, who's marketing a product but doesn't identify their avatar, is going to watch this video, instantly become better. So think about stuff like that. Like, I like to look at individual modules that I've released and say, okay, who watches this video and instantly gets better? I think the 30-hour challenge video in the Email Profits course, it's a huge starter video because a lot of people go, wow, I didn't realize that in 30 hours I could essentially be an expert.
Yeah.
And that's a big, like, everybody who's just starting out or somebody who's never made it to, like, let's say 6 figures watches that video and goes, now I got it. I don't have to help people on a scale of 1 to 10. I don't have to be a 10. I can be a 6 and help somebody become a 3. And now they've gotten a benefit.
Well, and especially when it comes to like digital marketing as a whole, right? There's so many things that if that's what you want to get into, it's like, well, that's
there's a
broad.
million things.
What about YouTube ads? You want to be the best YouTube ad, so it's like getting specific
even being
even with that.
Good at YouTube ads. You know, like, again, you could be a 4 at YouTube ads and help somebody become a 1, and that's the start of their journey. I think a lot of people think when they create a course or when they help market a product that the thing that they're marketing and selling is supposed to be the only thing that customer ever buys. You know what I mean? Like, that's the mentality. It's like, if I have a course on YouTube ads, that all of a sudden, this is going to be the only course on YouTube ads that person ever needs to buy. So I've got to make a course that encompasses everything. Versus, why not just make a course that teaches people how to write a perfect script for a YouTube ad? You can charge a little bit less, which is great, but now you've got people in, they trust you with your YouTube ad stuff, and then you can release another course, and then another one.
Of setting it up and finding your audience.
Yep. So who would instantly become better after joining? Somebody can go in, watch 1, 2, 3, 4 modules, and instantly be made better by whatever it is that you're servicing them with. So again, with YouTube ads, somebody writes one YouTube ad script. Like, that's why I want to release that course. Like, literally one video teaching people how to write the perfect script, another video showing them how we shoot it, another video showing them how we edit it. And in 3 hours, they're in, and anybody who's not running YouTube ads is instantly better. So now part of my avatar is, are you thinking about running YouTube ads, but you've seen that it's way too complex and you don't know what to shoot and you don't know what to say? Trust me, I know, because I was just in that same situation. So what I did was I watched all the best YouTube ads, I downloaded them, I created scripts for them, and I analyzed what they all said and what they did. And I created my own script based on the best YouTube ads that I was seeing. I put together a course. It's $49. You can come in. It's 4 videos. And in these 4 videos, by the end, I guarantee that you will have a great, killer, high-performing YouTube ad script, or I'll give you your money back. Literally everybody would buy that. But if I'm not clear on my avatar, well, are they already running YouTube ads or are they not? Because maybe they're already running YouTube ads. I don't want to insult them and be like, well, not that your YouTube ads are bad. It's like, now, see, I've already messed up because I'm not talking to the person. I'm talking to a genre of people, and that's way harder to do. So that's just one good example of how important an avatar is, because, like, I can talk to one person when making that ad, but how many people am I actually talking to? You know what I mean? Like, it applies to a lot of people. But I'm trying to talk to the one person who, like, let me get even more specific on this YouTube ad script thing. Don't take this idea and do it because I want to do it. Don't watch this video and then go sell this because I want to do this. But somebody who mid-30s has responsibilities, most likely has a kid, at least one kid. Responsibilities like mortgages, things like that are kind of kicking in. But then on the side, they're trying to release their first course. They like the idea of having a course. They just don't know how to do it. And they've heard a little bit about YouTube. They've struggled with Facebook, and they just can't figure out YouTube because, like me, the number one thing that's stopping them isn't the mechanics of running a YouTube ad. It's actually, what do I say in that YouTube ad that's going to resonate, because it's not the same thing as Facebook. That's who I'm talking to.
Yeah.
And now every ad that I write speaks to that. And then I can tweak that a little and run a new ad and see, like, maybe you've run YouTube ads before, and now I'm talking to that person who's tried it and failed.
As much as you want, 5 million people to buy your product, you don't need that many people.
Definitely not. And what's great is, like, you start at a $49 product, you upsell them for $197 into a, one-on-one call where we'll write the script for you based on our system, and then into a boot camp that shows you, some awesome things that you can do to double the performance of your YouTube ad or whatever. And then maybe a $697 course that's like a full YouTube ad course, like how to actually run these YouTube ads.
Yeah.
The script is one thing, but now here's how to run them. You can do a bunch of different things like that. So who instantly becomes better after joining? Who would instantly have less pain in their life after joining? So again, we talk a lot about like the two reasons people buy, the two emotions, and one is to avoid pain and the other is to increase pleasure. We just talked about increasing pleasure. Whose pain would we decrease? Like, are you sick of trying YouTube ads and they just don't work? Boom. That's who I'm talking to with the avoidance of pain. And these also help. Like, they just help you create ideas for ads. I'm coming up with these ad ideas on the fly because I know who I'm talking to.
Yeah.
You know the product and you know who you're talking to, which is great because this is phase 2. So, like, think about how far we are right now. Phase 1 is identify your idea. My idea is YouTube ad script, right? That's my coming up with my idea. Now, how did I come up with that idea? One of 5 ways. Pay attention to your problems. This is something I created off my own problem. So then what I did is learn, do, teach. I went and learned how to make a YouTube ad script. I then made a YouTube ad script. It started performing, and then I figured out what did I do in that YouTube ad script. So I'm teaching. What did I do in that YouTube ad script that worked so that I can show other people? Boom, idea done. Next, avatar.
Yeah.
So now who am I going to sell this thing to? Now I've got my idea for my product, but who am I going to sell it to? I need to sell it to somebody who also, like me, has these, not just like people like me. That's not an avatar. It's people like me who have the same problem I do. And so now, again, what I said at the beginning was, what will their outcome be from getting your product? So the outcome, I think about the change that's going to happen in the person's life. You're not going to have to struggle anymore with your YouTube ads. That tells me something about my avatar. It's somebody who's struggling with YouTube ads, right? So it's like, identify what that outcome is going to be of whatever your product and course is, and speak to that. Lastly, another really cool way to identify an avatar is who is currently looking for this solution. Oftentimes, we always think that this is who we're selling to anyways, is like, who is out there right now looking for this? This is like the lowest hanging fruit. And I find most marketers have no idea that they should be using this or can be using this. It's like, there are people right this second. Think about how many millions of people there are trying to build products and create courses. How many people do you think right now, let's say 1,000, that are literally looking for a proven YouTube ad script
At this exact moment in time.
Today?
Yeah.
How many people today are like, I would give money to somebody who can show me a good YouTube ad script? Like, go on Facebook and see how many of your friends in the entrepreneurial space are asking for something. Like, for instance, me. I'm looking for a closer for a high ticket program. There are people who sell programs that match you with a closer. So I'm their perfect avatar right now. I'm somebody who's literally looking for this service. So think about that. Who would be actively looking for this? This is somebody who's already got a course, who's probably already running Facebook ads, somebody who just can't figure out how to make YouTube work. Because this is literally me for a while. Again, paying attention to your own problems. I can get Facebook ads to work all day because you can use images, you can use short 1-2 minute videos, and the way in which somebody sees a Facebook ad is different than how they interact and see a YouTube ad. So you've got to have something completely different on YouTube than you do on Facebook. So figuring out what that script is, how to shoot it, how to make it engaging, where you should have your calls to action, these are all things that would be really cool for somebody to learn who already has a course, already has a coaching program, knows that they want to run YouTube ads. They're like, I know I need to do this. It's just, because especially like the value of a buyer from YouTube is higher than Facebook. Anybody else who knows that is like, I need to run YouTube ads. It's been bothering me for a year, 2 years. So there's the traditional way of identifying your avatar comes down to things like age, job, interests, where they live, where do they spend their time online and offline, and what is important to them. These will help you define your avatar. So if you were going to create a list of items, I'm going to be honest, I don't do that. I go with much more of an understanding of the person versus a direct, 35, works in IT, interested in basketball and fantasy football. They live in Chicago, They spend most of their time, if they live in Chicago, at the police station. Oh, no, I'm kidding. Where do they spend their time, online and offline? Okay, well, online they're probably in, community forums like ClickFunnels and all this, and then offline they're probably at, the kids' playground taking their kid because they've got kids and they're doing this, and then T-ball and all that. What is important to them? Well, their family's important to them. Being able to make money is important to them. Feel a sense of accomplishment is important to them. I don't usually go that deep because it's like some of these things are not necessary for our marketing.
Yeah.
What I like is the sellable factors of like, okay, I have a YouTube ad script course. Somebody who needs to run YouTube ads, somebody who has a course, because they're instantly going to benefit from my product. So that's why I like those first 5 questions. Those are much better than like the definition of like age, job, interests. Now, lastly, now that you know how to identify your avatar, the question that I get a lot, and this is funny because I think we're wired this way as human beings. There are people watching this video who haven't even started to identify their avatar, who are already thinking in their head, what if I mess up? Mm-hmm. Like already thinking about the failure of like, what if I get it wrong?
Yeah.
You haven't even started yet, so don't go down the road of failing yet.
Avatar is one thing, and it's like
and it ends up being something else. Yeah. What if I did that wrong? It's on me. Understandable, but don't let yourself fail just yet. You haven't started. But here's the good news: if you mess up, number one, you'll probably know quickly. Like if you have all the other steps in place, you'll know relatively fast because it's not going to convert. It's not going to work. Maybe my avatar is wrong. Who I'm talking to is not right. Right? People will not respond to your ads. People will not respond to the product. You'll know. And then you just adjust. Go back to the drawing board and adjust. Welcome to being an entrepreneur. Now, again, what you can then do to make sure that you don't mess up is try to create an overtly small audience. Try to create an audience that you literally think there's like one of. I know it sounds crazy, but like, I promise you, okay, maybe not one. You end up creating an avatar of like a war veteran who lost his right pinky and his left thumb, like not like that specific, It's like, try to think of like 100 people that would fall into this. Because if you can think of 100, like an audience that for sure has 100, I guarantee you that audience has hundreds of thousands. Because like the way that our brains work is we can't understand how many people are on the earth. And then lastly, aim for at least 3 characteristics. So somebody who has their own product, somebody who has not tried running YouTube ads, and somebody who is not a professional filmmaker. So now when I'm talking to them, I can say, I shot this ad on my iPhone. So boom, I'm talking to them. It helps me sell my course. YouTube ads makes me more money, yada, yada, yada. So I'm talking directly to them. So 3 of the characteristics that I've mentioned so far, try to match 3 of them. And yeah, that's one of the most important things that you can do is identify your avatar, because as you can see, it makes things a little bit more clear for you. Big issue that most people struggle with is right here, especially if you're super foggy on your avatar. Like me, for years, I was like pretty clear. I wanted people of this age demographic that wanted to make some more money. I understood a little bit about them, but that was about it. They don't know a lot about internet marketing. I got to talk down to them a little bit, which I hate doing. I hate that, like, making money online is easy. Like I don't like doing that. I prefer talking to peers. Like, all right, hey, instead of making money online is easy, I'd rather be like, dude, your open rate went up 5% when you did this. Like, I want those conversations.
Yeah, I think that's way better than you see like these, 20-some-year-old, 21, 22, with a Lambo behind them. Like, yeah, you can make money all day, every day.
Or the guys who like start an ad at the ATM. Hey, come here. Look at this. Look how much money I have.
This account.
I get it. It's for shock and awe, but like, oh, that's cheesy. I feel like that's cheesy.
Get somebody to stop, but I don't know.
I mean, that's the idea, but I don't trust people like that because I feel like there's something weird going on.
Yeah.
But that's what you want to do. Identify your avatar. Start there. As soon as you get a clear avatar, who you're going to be marketing to, who you're selling to, now you know who to talk to. Now you know how to build your courses. Now you know how to build your thank you pages if you're an affiliate. I mean, really, there's 4 people who should be going through this program right now seeing this video. Somebody who wants to have an online business and wants to start it by promoting affiliate products, which is what we teach. Somebody who already has their own course, coaching program, or some kind of tool they want to sell online. Those 4 people are who should be here right now. And so if you're in one of those situations, it means that you're this much closer to identifying the avatar, which is the person who can then buy whatever it is that you want to sell, the affiliate product, the course, the software product. That's how I did it with Chatmatic. Who wanted to buy Chatmatic? Well, essentially nobody. So I had to educate people, and then I created a market of people that wanted to make money and use Chatmatic as the way to do that.
But we even said the same thing about like the agency, right? Like one of the first notes, get specific. Like the more specific you can get, the more you could charge.
100%.
So if you're just doing like, oh, okay, well, I do an agency for e-commerce stores. Like, no, if you're doing an agency for e-commerce stores that sell,
shoes,
women's apparel,
women's apparel, women's fitness apparel. Not only do you get better at it, because now you know how to speak to the avatar a little bit better. You also know what works. Hey, we sent these text messages to this group of people in a very similar store, and it worked really well because we found this. Like, oh, that was really cool. They responded well to that. Like little things like, women respond better to pictures, whole body pictures versus just the picture of the clothing. I don't know if that's true, but like you would find that out if you were that person who like specialized. So specializing makes it really easy. So yeah, then that identifies your avatar. So that's it. Make sure you guys identify your avatar. It's a really, really important step. Just take some time, get a notebook, write down who you think you're talking to. And just make sure that whenever you are making an ad, you go back to that section of your notebook and go, this is my avatar, this is who I'm speaking to. So now I know I need to touch on these kind of points. It doesn't have to get too much more fine-tuned than that. Now, in the next video, which you guys will see, we're going to be talking about creating your pitch. And I'll be discussing something called my automated pitch process. Really, really cool system. And this is where most of the nuts and bolts kind of come out, where we'll really dive deep into how to create your real pitch, which is how am I going to start attracting people, whether it's for your own offer, for somebody else's offer, whatever. How do we create that pitch? I'll walk you guys through some exercises that you can do. In the meantime, that's it. Go create your avatar. We'll see you in the next one.
See you soon.